The finalists in the men's team tumbling competition at the World Championships in Sofia, Bulgaria. Great Britain leading the way. Behind them, one of the great tumbling nations, Denmark, as part of their team gymnastics tradition. The United States of America, the third strongest, and they have got the World Games champion in their lineup. Australia will be next. They've got a gymnast who has the most difficult task in the world in their ranks. And we also have Portugal, one of the great classical nations of trampoline and tumbling. This is going to be a fabulous final. Let's get it started. Portugal, the fifth strongest in the qualification campaign. And we have Australia next to go. And goodness me, they'll be feeling in good spirits after what their teammates have done in the women's double mini trampoline competition. The United States of America, the third best in qualification. They have the World Games champion last to go for them. Denmark, two of their gymnasts won team bronze in this event last year. And Great Britain, the top performers in qualification. The British team are the reigning European champions. And for Great Britain, they have, starting for them, another of those athletes who's got a real association with this place. So warm-up time for all of these athletes. They get the chance to go through one pass, and we have a warm-up at the beginning of each of the 3 rounds. Welcome all of you to the last event on day 1 at the Trampoline World Championships. Ollie Hogman here, and it's a pleasure to be talking to you wherever you're watching from and however long you've been enjoying the sport of trampoline gymnastics. It will be André Palmer to get things started for the Portuguese team. He's the reigning national champion. For Australia, Jacob Smith will be the first to go. He won a bronze medal at the national championships. 25-year-old is from Tasmania, and its capital Hobart. He was the first Tasmanian tumbler to represent his country at the World Championships. And when you look at what's happened in trampoline tumbling in Tasmania in the last few years, it's been a remarkable development. For the United States of America, Patrick Lyle will be their first tumbler. He's 21, making his debut at the World Championships. A student of cell biology and public health, aspiring to go into the medical profession. For Denmark, Mads Hansen will start their campaign. He won a silver medal at the World Age Group Championships, the effectively junior World Championships for trampoline gymnasts last year. Going back a lot further than that, you have this gentleman, Christoph Willardson, the 29-year-old from Gloucester in Great Britain, who won the World Championship title here in 2013 to become the first ever British man to take World Tumbling Gold. So this is such a special place for Christoph Willardson. He also has a team gold from here as well. Do you believe in history repeating itself? Let's find out. The last event, the men's team tumbling final to start. André Palmer of Portugal, the national champion. He was 6th at the World Games. Great accomplishment, considering that he never, in his wildest dreams, thought he'd be a medal contender there. Oh, he's had a difficult landing, but he's come so far, André Palmer. in the last 12 months or so. Great development in his gymnastics. There's a lot about his work that's very promising. He's got some decent difficulty in there. He's not hugely central for the first half of the pass, then he gets back to the centre line. But it's not the tightest of pike positions, quite some leg bend, harder to rotate round, and as a result he comes up a little short. He competes for the Sociedade Filarmonica Estrela Monitense club.
Waiting for the first score of Portugal, 19 years old.
Next to go will be Australia. Jacob Smith. Not for the first time today, we have a fair amount of debate and a fair amount of delay as well, but it's in now at last for Palmer. It's 20.7 for him. And now we go to Jacob Smith. Senior World Championship debut. The Tasmanian trailblazer. Here he goes. Good beginning, light landing that for Jacob Smith of Australia. That will have them in contention early on. When you consider the strength of their squad overall, they cannot be ruled out. Very powerful gymnast. No issues with the level of rotation. He was in alignment to land it. One large adjustment step, nothing too huge. 23.5 and 23.3 in qualification for Smith. His teammates Jack Hemmings and Ethan McGuinness will come after him. The score is 22.4 for Smith. Some clear form deduction in his tumbling and not the most difficult of passes. Now to Patrick Lyell of the USA, 25.4 and 25.2 in qualification. The 21-year-old making his debut at the World Championships. University undergraduate has shown a great deal of promise. Yes, that went very tidily. Patrick Lyell. The moment of just immense relief at getting through that, his first contribution to a final at the Senior World Championships. Generates a good amount of whip as he goes down the tumbling track. Great height as he twists around. Again, that's a well-controlled final skill in the pass. Young man from Louisiana. He's a qualified judge as well, so has a very good knowledge of the code of points and how to maximise it. And his score is 25.3. That is the highest score we've seen so far. To Mads Hansen of Denmark. Now this is a gymnast with high scoring potential. 27 was his best in qualification. He's 19. Back in 2015 the World Championships were held in Odense, his home city. Well, isn't he a nice addition to the senior ranks of the Danish squad? No wonder they've been excited about him coming through. 19-year-old Mads Hansen. This is a great addition to a team that won the bronze medal last year. So much success at junior level. Can he help his team to more senior honours? It would be his first, but not for his teammates Abelgo and Sumu. That is 27.9, his best score of the championships by some way. Denmark ahead with 1 to go. It's Christoph Willerton of Great Britain, the man who in this arena in 2013 became the first British man to win the tumbling world title. Wow, that was immense from Christoph Willerton. He already has 3 World Championship titles. This is his 10th time at the World Championships. The graduate of biochemistry from St Edmund Hall, Oxford. And considering how much was going on in the air, this was a well-controlled landing by Christoph Willerton. Wondered for a moment if he was actually going to make the mat, but he did manage it quite comfortably in the end. He actually says he's never felt stronger in many ways, although he acknowledges that managing his body physically is a little more of a challenge as he gets towards his 30s. .7 and 27.2 in qualification. And that is an excellent score, 28.4 for Willerton. And as a result, Great Britain take the 5 points available in the first round. Denmark, the second strongest performers in qualification, have secured the 4 points. That's through Mads Hansen. The United States of America, with Patrick Lyell picking up 3 points. Australia have secured 2, and Portugal a single point for them. Now we go back round to the start. It will be Vasco Pesso of Portugal who goes for them. The second for Australia will be Jack Hemmings. We're just having a look there at Martin Abelgo of Denmark, who was part of the team that won bronze last year. And it will be Jaden Paddock of Great Britain, the second to compete for them. He was the last to go in Tokyo when they won the title most recently in 2019. It was his display that sealed the gold. And these are the standings at the conclusion of the first round.
United States, Australia, and Portugal.
Vasco Pesso of Portugal, 20-year-old at his 3rd World Championships. This Portuguese team missed out on making the final. Last year they were 6th, just missed by 1 place. He's another of the gymnasts from Sociedade Filarmónica Estrela Monitense, just like Andre Palmer, who went a moment ago. And that was a big conclusion to his pass. He got way up into the air into the tuck position. There was always a danger that he wasn't going to get that fully rotated. So it's been a troubled start for Portugal. Neither of their landings stabilised. This is ambitious work. 3 rotations. Pascal Pesso had a good campaign at the Coimbra World Cup in his home country early this year, where he won the silver medal.
Portugal looking for his second score in the men's tumbling team final.
His finish of 11th place at the European Championships was actually the best of all of the Portuguese individuals. So they've done well to come into this team final in 5th position. Certainly stronger as a unit. The old cliche being greater than the sum of their parts. 21 for Pesso. A bit of a long way back now for Portugal, I'm afraid to say, in this final. Jack Hemmings of Australia. 24-year-old from Windsor, a town northwest of Sydney. He won his first World Cup medal earlier this season in Italy. A slightly jolting landing for Jack Hemmings, but it's solid again from the Australians. They picked up 2 points in the first round. He made 3 finals at the World Age Group Championships in Sofia in 2017. Very loud cheers coming out from the American delegation for their next competitor. As first we wait for the score for Jack Hemmings to come in. Now it must be difficult, this, for the gymnasts. There's really been a lot of delay to a lot of the scores today.
Looking for his score, and his score was 24 years old. He won the bronze medal at the World Cup in Italy earlier this year.
Australia were 4th in the team competition in Tokyo at the World Championships of 2019. This is one of the longest waits we've had so far. It's 25.9 for Jack Hemmings. Now that's his best score of the championships so far. Well done to him. Caleb Cave of the United States of America. He's just 17, one of the youngest gymnasts in this final. It's his international debut. Oh, and by the way, he's quite good. Silver medalist at the national championships earlier this year. I think many of you will know him if you use social media a lot, because you might have seen him on certain platforms doing standing double backs on the grass. Well, he can do a lot more when you put a mat underneath him. That is terrific. He gets enormous amplitude. But the showpiece, the star attraction of this whole pass is this. Gets the knees tucked in, round and round and round he goes, and he's judged it very well. Almost a touch over-rotated. Great gymnastics from Caleb Cave. He's a very exciting prospect for them. And that is an exciting score for them, 26.9. Now that's the finest score we've seen so far in the round. Now to Martin Abildgaard of Denmark, the 20-year-old from Aarhus in Jutland, bronze medalist last year with the team. That's ambitious work, and it's good work from Martin Abildgaard. It's the second time he's been in this city. He was at the World Age Group competitions in 2017. And that was a secure looking landing from Abildgaard. His layout work adding an embellishment in terms of the difficulty. And he judged that so well in terms of the level of rotation coming out of the tuck position. Denmark picked up 4 points in the first round with Mads Hansen. Will they have a similarly successful second round, courtesy of the gentleman a year older, or about half a year older, Martin Abildgaard. .27.4 for Abildgaard. That is the best that we've seen so far. Now we go to Jaden Paddock of Great Britain, the nation that secured the maximum points in round one through Christoph Willerton. Paddock was part of the team, just as Willerton was, that took silver last year, gold 2 years before that. Oh, that's tremendous! My goodness, what a landing from Jaden Paddock! And he stands there as though someone's about to hand him a cup of tea. That was as calm as anything. Wow. Could not have judged that better in terms of the angle of attack coming out of the tuck position. That is splendid from Jaden Paddock. Young man who's recently started his qualifications in stunt work, and his score is huge, 29.4. That is an easy 5 points for Great Britain, and they are in full control of this final. And that means, as a result, that they are ahead of Denmark, who have taken another 4-point haul. This actually has stayed completely as it was in the first round. That's the first time we've had that happen in any of the competitions so far tonight. So everyone that won 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 in round one has done exactly the same in this second round. And what that means is that Great Britain have 10 points, Denmark have 8, the USA 6, Australia 4 and Portugal 2. Now the United States of America has a very useful gymnast to bring out in this final round, as we have confirmation of the standings at the 2/3 mark of this men's team final. Just keep an eye on the United States of America, because they've got the World Games champion coming. We have João Saraiva of Portugal. He'll be the first to go. Then it will be Ethan McGuinness of Australia. Australia might have a little too much to do to get onto the podium, but you never know. Caden Brown of the USA will be next. Then it will be Johannes Sumo of Denmark. And to finish things off, it will be Romani Lavina of Great Britain. Lewis Westwood is the reserve gymnast for the British team. He's done brilliantly to get to these championships, considering he's had an ankle injury this year that has really impeded him. Young athlete who's an undergraduate in chiropractic science at Teesside University in Middlesbrough. There's 2 members of the British team here from Teesside University. João Saraiva of Portugal, the last to go for them. Regrettably, they're really out of it at the moment, down in last place with only 2 points. Very bright man, Saraiva. He has a master's in sports training. He studied physiotherapy. His original degree was sports science. It's just been one of those days for poor old Portugal in this men's team final. They haven't been able to stabilise any of their passes. And we just haven't had the chance to really see them at their absolute best, considering that gymnasts like Saraiva won a team bronze medal at the European Championships last year. And he is a very diligent and hard-working gymnast. Taking it in their stride though, the Portuguese team. We'll see more of Portugal at these World Championships, because after all this is trampoline gymnastics and they are one of the world leading nations in the sport. .23.6 is the score for Saraiva. Now to Ethan McGuinness of Australia. The 21-year-old from Penrith in New South Wales. He won the gold medal in Rimini at the World Cup with an outrageously difficult tumbling pass. And that is absolutely brilliant from McGuinness to conclude his final and the Australians' final. That really was beautiful gymnastics from him. He was very controlled and he knew that he delivered that. Certainly the strongest we've seen from Australia. What a reaction, and what a display as well. It's amazing when you go back to how he started in the sport. He was originally a rugby player. Actually, shortly after he'd had to make the choice to give up rugby, he came here. And that's a 29 for McGuinness. Easily Australia's best score. To Caden Brown of the United States of America. Now, with that score from McGuinness, that will ask a few questions of Brown. He scored 29.2 and 28.2 in qualification. He's the World Games champion, though, the 21-year-old from Utah. That is elegant. It is graceful. It is borderline balletic from Caden Brown. He's another of those gymnasts, and there aren't many of them in the world, who everything they do, they make look simple. And it belies the difficulty in his gymnastics. He's got such a lovely tight tuck position. He's very elegant in his layout. This is fine tumbling from one of the finest, the reigning 3-time national champion. Now, how's that going to compare to the number we've just seen from Ethan McGuinness of 29 exactly? Owner of several World Cup medals, 5 in all. 2 silver, 2 bronze. He's just gone ahead. I thought it might be close. 29.1. But the key thing, Brown's execution was higher, and it certainly looked it. So the United States of America, well positioned, with pressure now on the Danes. Johannes Sommer of Denmark, the 24-year-old, at his second World Championships. Mechanical engineering graduate. Part of the team that won bronze last year. Has he done enough for Denmark? That was good work from Johannes Sommer. Now, just to remind you that the Danes have a 2-point advantage over the USA going into this final round. So they don't need to worry about beating the US. They simply need to make sure that they finish just 1 place below them, and they'll remain ahead. But the challenge for Johannes Sommer is that you've got McGuinness, who's just below Caden Brown on 29.0 to Brown's 29.1. The man from Svenbo, and his score is 27.2, and that has made the leaderboard very interesting. We'll come back to that later. Romani Levina of Great Britain, 17. This is his debut World Championships. Great Britain in an excellent position on 10 points, the maximum coming into this final round. And to get that degree of quality from the youngest member of the team is superb. As the veteran Christoph Willerton watches on, as Jaden Paddock and the reserve Lewis Westwood come over to offer their congratulations. Romani Levina has acquitted himself so well in this high pressure final, his first ever Senior World Championship final. A lot about his form that is really nice. Some small issues here and there throughout the pass. And on the whole, quite stable as he lands. Now this is going to take some unpicking once this number comes in. 25 for Levina. And all of that means that we're just a matter of moments away from confirming the final positions in this men's team tumbling competition, as now everyone looks up to the leaderboard, to the big screen, to see if they've managed to do it. The British team, Christoph Willerton, Jaden Paddock, Romani Levina, Lewis Westwood, the last to go. And it has been confirmed that Great Britain have taken the World Championship title. 12 points, a single point ahead of the Danes and the United States of America, who have also made it onto the podium. But it is Great Britain who have won the World Championship title, and well done to the young lad, Romani Lavina, the 17-year-old, who did enough to secure the gold medal, a moment to cherish for the rest of his life. And we look back at how it was that the title was won.
Number 17, Romani Lavina of Great Britain. He's never done a World Championship before. Please not in these.
Well, that brings to a close the action at the arena, Sofia. But we do have the victory ceremonies to bring you for the last two events, so do stay with us for those scenes of celebration from Sofia.